not me.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Dumb SEO Questions, episode 259. Each week we meet here to answer the questions asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+, and also in the Dumb SEO Questions Facebook group. With us tonight we have David Rozam. David resides in the sunny side of England, at the bottom, in the sunny bottom, or somewhere.
So I live here.
Anyway,
I don't think we want to know about David's sunny bottom, do we?
At least he wouldn't drink his shandy, Sash. Anyway, David is well known for his website, writingforseo.org. He's an internet marketer of long standing. He has been an SEO copywriter for 30 odd years a copywriter for 30 odd years and an SEO copywriter for around about 12 years, something like that, David?
I think that sounds very approximately right, yes.
Thank you very much. All right, from the south of England, let's
come up
move
with
up.
another version of the story next week.
I did my best. Masataki Wasa is webmaster of wasaweb.net. He's also a Google top contributor on the AdSense community. Head of SEO for Zendesk.com, Micah Fisher-Kirshner is located. He lives on the west coast of the USA, not far from Silicon Valley. Micah is also a regular on the SEO public speaking circuit. I forgot to mention Masataki lives in Wimbledon, pretty close to the centre of London. Sash Meyer is a disaster recovery specialist. Sash is currently based in Portsmouth, most often based in Texas. He gets around. And Sash is also a top contributor on the Google Webmasters help community. Tim Capper is CEO of OnlineOwnership.com. He's a conversion rate optimization specialist. He's based in Corby, which is about 97 miles north of London. He's also a Google top contributor on the Google My Business community. And last but not least, William Rock is based in Kansas in the USA. He's an SEO, proud to call himself an SEO. And he's also a top contributor on the Google Web Search community. Is that right? Yeah, cool. All right, let's tweet that we're on the air, and let's move on to the first question. It's titled Placing Keywords on Heading Tags. It's from Josu Sanchez and Arnalda. Josu said, "Hi, I'm having a hard time trying to explain this in English. I've got on my website a page one, already ranking well for keyword one. And if I make another page, let's say page 2, ranking for another keyword, let's call it keyword 2, can I add the same keyword 1 from the other page in an H2 of page 2? I don't want page 2 to rank for keyword 1, but they are related in the topic, so I think it could help page 2 rank higher for this main keyword. Complicated question, I hope you can understand it. Waiting for the opinion of the big SEO masters. I wonder if he knows that one of us drinks shandies.
Probably not.
Anyway, well, big SEO masters, what answer do we have for Josu?
I would have to say that if there is any relevance and relation to actually put the thing in your H2 on page 1, then do it. And if there's no relevance or relation and no reason to put it there, then don't do it. It's actually quite simple for my money.
Yeah, I agree, sir. So I think, you know, we can overthink these things, but if what you're writing makes sense, and just go ahead and do it. But if you're doing it purely and simply for SEO, it's probably bound to fail.
If you're go on, finish. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. No, you're
No,
right.
I mean, if you're doing it solely for keyword placement, then you're really barking up the wrong tree. You know, that's all.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You know, utilizing the user experience model. I mean, if it makes sense for the user, if it's
that's a long word, man.
What?
I said that's a really long word, man.
Well, sorry. You know, user experience is a tough one to actually say in one, you know, four times straight. But focusing on that and thinking more on the lines of words like you were saying. If you're thinking about it for SEO purposes, don't. I mean, if it makes sense to your user experience, then go for it. But if you're just, again, going to target each one of those pages, you might be wasting your time with the SEO stuff.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, my thought is,
all right,
and it's probably been covered already, but I've got sound week. As long as the two pages are very clearly different subjects, that they are semantically different, you might get some interference between the two. You know, do you pay this particular story? And if you do need those 2 pages, write them. They are different. They will be different if you need 2 pages. But if you're doing it with a that you need 2 pages because you've got N keywords to rank, then you'll probably find that the pages get too similar and you're it's a mess. So yeah, that's where I come from anyway.
Thank you, David. All right, let's move on to our next SEO question. This one from Hema Pillay. It's titled SEO ranking cannot be guaranteed. Hema said, hi there. I have a client who has many of her pages and blog posts ranking well. She is in a very narrow niche with low competition but good volume. She wants to create a job board and the plugins do not meet all of her requirements. So we decided to create a separate WordPress install just for the job board. I did find a job board theme that meets her requirements and she wants it to rank as fast as possible. I did set the expectation that SEO rankings cannot be guaranteed by a specific month. She has a job page on her main domain which ranks well in Google search, and she wants that to be replaced with a job board on either a subdomain or a different domain. She does not want to blog on the job board website. It's purely for reading and posting jobs. She blogs regularly on her main domain. What would be the best practice for this? 1, point her high-ranking curated job listings page to subdomain on the main domain and add it in the Google Search Console. 2, Point a ranking page to a separate domain. 3, or some other option. Thanks in advance.
I don't understand why the plugins like another WordPress install here. If you I think I would put it in a folder on the subdomain, because you're going to get all sorts of problems of starting a subdomain.
Agreed.
So if you do need a WordPress install, and as I say, I don't really see why, then it's not a plugins issue, is it? It's a theme issue. No. Anyway, if you do need another WordPress install, don't put it on main or main. That's it from me.
Thank you, David. And to sum up, he's saying that he doesn't see why that you need a WordPress install. It's not a plugin issue. It's more of a theme issue. And the reason I put that in, David, is because you actually broke up partly during that. So I just thought I'd add that in. Anybody else?
Yeah, it's breaking up badly. As bad as the last couple of times I've tried to get on and given up, but it's people going quiet and all sorts of stuff.
It's this medieval British internet. It's really not good enough over here, I have to say. Right, I had something similar a couple of months ago where somebody was running WordPress and they were running the Cherry framework and all that goes with it. And it's really a pig, depending on what you're trying to do. So if this is what we're facing here, where the framework that you're running within your WordPress install is just not going to allow you to do what you want, then that would be the place where you'd need a separate install. I totally agree with David. If that is the case, dump it in a folder. Do not dump it on a subdomain or on a separate domain. And then redirect, 301 redirect. Better still, take the page content that's ranking well, make it a page on the new install, and then you'll have like-for-like content plus the functionality of your new job board right there in the install. That would probably be the best approach.
Yep, thank you, Sash. Anybody else? All right, so let me tweak that and we'll move to the next. I think we've got about 11 or 12 questions today. And we're up to number 3. William Zimmerman asks a question titled, should you include city with the category in citations? William went on to ask, local citations question, should you include city with the category in the citations? For example, in yellow pages, city search, super pages, etc., if it is a beauty salon in Narberth, Pennsylvania, should the category be beauty salon Narberth, Pennsylvania versus just beauty salon?
I think it's good to actually mention the location, especially down in your footer with your address, but at the same time as utilizing the city location is helpful, especially for a beauty salon, so people can physically see it on your page, but overusing it could have a problem.
Yep, anybody else?
Yeah, if you can, and they do have the allowance to include the city and state, include the city and state within your citations. Most of them do, I believe, but if you can, include it. And you should include it in your site also, and your structured data markup.
Yep. All right, let's go to the next. William Zimmerman, I hope that's been useful for you. Stavros Karidamou asks a question titled Website Schema and Getting Banned. Stavros said, can anybody please advise me on the rating plugin? At the end of the homepage, I have placed 2 plugins. I'm using the second one also for the different posts of the website, and it works fine as the specific post that received rating started showing them rating on Google's results. I was just wondering if I added the specific widget on the homepage and with website schema, will it not work fine without having any chance of being banned?
So I'm not familiar with the plugin, but one thing to be aware of is website schema is not going to get you banned. You might, if it's doing something inappropriate with Google's guidelines on schema, then you'll lose your schema, and you can actually build. I think now they're sending actions or notes about it in Search Console, but none of that will actually get your website banned.
Sorry, Micah, did you say it will get the website banned or won't?
Will not.
It won't. It will not. Okay.
Correct.
I wonder if the plugin might be doing other things, but at the same time, most of the time you're not going to get banned for that unless you're really trying to be tricky with the search engines. And that's what I think a lot of people have been seeing articles being written about, being banned for markup data. It's a scary thing. You'll see it in Webmaster or Search Console, but I think it's been a rare instance that it's been out there.
See, as far as it goes, Google is having kind of a crackdown on the whole schema markup abuse because it is so rife. But the actual, just the mechanics of plugging something in, like Micah said, it's not going to make any difference at all. It's what you do with it. Guns don't kill people. It does.
Okay, Stavros, I hope that is useful for you. I'm not sure if I've tweeted that or not. Apparently I haven't. Here we are. Neil Cheeseman asked the question that when entering hreflang, does it matter what order they are in? He said, he went on to say, i.e., does the first one listed have to be the self-referencing URL? I see Jason Duke simply said no. I agree with Jason. What about you guys?
I don't think I've run into that issue, so I don't believe that order needs to be. You don't need to worry. Yeah, and I think pretty much, if I recall correctly as well, the tools are fine with that. Where it might run into issues is if you change the order within each individual hreflang tag. So each of the little attributes. So if you're changing parts of it in that order, you might run into issues when it comes to checking stuff. But yeah, I don't believe there's any issue.
I would imagine that the Google bot is pretty smart about that. Detect regardless of order, right?
Oh, no, I mean, I tend to do it that way, but I tend to do it that way out of personal preference, not because there is a need or, you're going to get pummeled if you don't.
Yeah, as far as I know, it doesn't matter. I have EN to JA hreflang on certain pages, and that always has the EN first, even though it's a JA page. And the Search Console doesn't flag those as issues. So, and the international settings also for international targeting. So, no, I don't think it will matter.
Okay, so it doesn't matter is the consensus opinion, Neil, and yeah, I think. Look, the one thing I do want to point out, Jason Duke, thank you for your contributions through the week on the Dumb SEO Questions Facebook group. Your interest is appreciated, both by the person that you're answering, whose question you're answering, and also by all of us, and we thank you. All right, let's go to the next. This one from Corbin Van Stone. It's titled, "My internal links that show in the Google Search Console are not correct." He said, "My internal links that show in the Google console for one of my websites and for my internal links are not correct." It's saying some big number pointing to a page, and each page I check doesn't have that link. How does one fix a wrong and erroneous result in the Google Search Console?
Anyone? What do I do it?
Go for it. It's fine.
Right. First of all, you have no control over the other page that on the other site that links to you. And a lot of the time you'll find that, especially spammers, will put a link on for a week and then it disappears. It could have been, and there's all sorts of reasons why Search Console would be showing a link when there actually isn't one anymore. Further, Search Console is not the most up-to-date animal on the planet, and it can take days and sometimes weeks for the data to actually normalize after the link actually disappears from the URL where it's specified. There's not a whole lot you can do about this. And certainly Search Console, to the best of my knowledge, does not have a facility whereby you can go fix this, because it'll just do whatever the hell it wants to do.
Yep. Anybody else? All right. I hope you find that useful, Corbin.
His best answer or what?
We don't have a best answer badge here, Snatch. All right. Okay, let's move on. I found my mouse. Another one from Corbin Van Stone. Which of these following pages should be no index? Or what should be done with them? So what's the pages he's referring to are the About Us page, the Contact Us page, cookies, a privacy page, terms and conditions page. Your answer is appreciated.
I'm curious, would you actually no index any of them?
I wouldn't.
I would probably say that Google's already, and I think John Mueller's kind of came out and said this as well, where you don't need a no index. Basically, they're going to not put those into the full index because it's not full body content. The visitor is going to read it, but that's not the main focus of being on your site, unless you know.
I would actually question why you would want to no index the About Us page if it's your company information. I mean, you'd be a fool to actually try and exclude that, because that's relevance right there. Unless, of course, you've just filled it with a generic load of tripe that's irrelevant to anything. Ditto contact us page. You want that stuff in the index. I mean, it doesn't matter. Are you just gaming Google to try and get, clicks and traffic and whatnot, or actually are you trying to physically get visitors and customers? Because if I already know your company name and I want to go, hey, how do I contact them? Then chances are, if I go contact details, email addresses, phone numbers, what have you, Google will actually return your contact page for that query. So, but I mean, as far as privacy policy and terms and conditions are concerned, depends. How generic are you? How important is it? I mean, those two, it's like flip a coin. Do whatever the hell you want, but not the about us and contact us pages.
Yeah, if you're no indexing those, you're letting your competitors, or you're just letting anybody create a page and dictate what your phone number is or what your email is.
Exactly.
And the nefarious people are going to do it if they find you should definitely like those need to be
those up in the site links. So it's, when somebody does a brand search for you, like Sash was mentioning, they're going to see the About Us page, contact page, and your site links for that search result. So if it's no index, that's not going to show up.
Yeah. So have we covered this one, do you think? I think so. All right, let's move on to our next question from Baikai Young. Baikai said, help, my site has not been indexed by Google or other search engines. I should point out that his site actually has been indexed. You can find pages for his site using the site operator. But anyway, he seems very keen to improve, very willing to listen. So I'd like to see Baikai encouraged as much as possible. He said, please, I have a tutorial blog, http //livetechhub.com, but it has not been indexed by Google or other search engines, but I always set up on-page SEO before publishing. Please, what can I do?
For starters, you need to make your site faster. This thing is extremely slow to load. I'm sitting here 15 seconds. And now we're finished. Okay, so with page load times of 20 seconds or so, that's Google's gonna raise an eyebrow. It's not no reader is going to hang around that long to actually wait for your stuff to load. You'd have to have really, really unique, relevant stuff. I would also say that you need to brush up on your English language use. I'm guessing, yeah, your language use isn't all that great. So as far as it goes, chances are you're going to have other people ranking above you because their contextual writing is better. But really, as far as it goes, you need to look at your page speeds here. That's quite a big one because it's way too long.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. I looked at the site : domain, and it does show that he's in the index. So that's a good signal. But like you mentioned, the on page is going to be factors in the language barrier, making sure that everything's kind of uniform for that topic. Go out and do a search with GT metrics and also check your page speeds. I mean, you can start to figure out and get a good idea where the waterfall happens, where your images are loading too fast, or maybe it's a DNS issue. There's a lot of different things that tool can just kind of identify.
It's exceedingly slow. I mean, I suspect that it's WordPress and you've put a ton of plugins in, and there's no caching system. Yeah. So you need to get a need to get another plugin in there. Yeah, but you need to cache the whole thing, because this is just, it's not going to work as it is.
Now, I spoke to Bokeh in a private message, and he pointed out that about half of his content he'd written himself, but the other half he'd purchased from an agency. These might be the ones that you saw, Mike, from the agency. More than likely would be spun content, wouldn't it, or not?
It depends on the agency. I have to ask, what is the purpose of this site? What are you trying to get people to do apart from read your content? Are you looking for customers? Doesn't look like you're looking for advertising clicks. I can't really see any adverts on here at all. So I have to ask, what are you looking to achieve?
I guess he's wanting to build the traffic and then advertise later. I guess.
Then buying sort of content of dubious origin is probably not the way forward.
I also ran a page using the Google's page speed tool. I was looking at the scan of home page, and desktop shows 21 out of 100 and 19 out of 100 for mobile. So I would go back to those GT metrics, page speed tools, page speed insight, and kind of get a good idea of what's happening with your load time. And like Sash mentioned, it might be a lot of plugins you don't need to have there too. But
I've seen this before. I'm guessing that it's probably budget hosting. That's not too fast to start with. So you're not, first of all, you don't have a very big pipe. Second of all, you're not allocated a whole lot of resources. Third of all, chances are you're fighting for the same server with 3,000 other sites. And by the time you then load down your site with plugins, it's over.
Yeah, and some of the images are about 1.5 meg.
Yeah, that doesn't help. So let's have a look at this. That's not right. Just broke my machine.
I'm running another GT metric.
Right, now I am looking at, for instance, how to create a technology blog. I'm on that post, and I'm guessing that this is the content you bought. Now I'm seeing the same content on 7 different domains, including a Google Plus post. So you're not the only ones. It's, in fact, they stole it from WikiHow in the first place. So there you go. Yeah, so your agency is not selling you content that's actually worth anything. So get back to writing your own.
Okay. All right. So Bike, the other thing I see that hasn't been mentioned, but I see Chris Dessard did mention it in the Dumb SEO Questions Facebook group, a suggestion to no index tag and category pages. And that sounds like a good plan to me. All right, let's move on to the next. I think I've tweeted that already. Yes, I have. Let's go to the next. JL Faverio has a question titled, "Now Twitter has collections too." I see Tim Capper gave a good answer for this on the Dumb SEO Questions Facebook group, although it didn't make it onto our scraper for some reason or other. I don't know why. Maybe our scraper doesn't like shandies. Anyway, yeah, okay. I don't like to ask anybody but directly, but you gave such a great answer, Tim, on the group, on the Dumb SEO Questions Facebook group. Would you be able to expand on that?
No, because I don't remember answering this.
You're being extraordinarily quiet today, Si. Is it a shandy hangover?
No, I don't remember answering this.
Oh, well, maybe I dreamed it.
I think you did, Jim.
Let me have a look.
After too many fucking shandies.
Look, look, if I've made a mistake, it's only because I'm an idiot. Let me see. I can't see the post.
So Twitter having collections now? I had no idea, so I just looked it up. So I'm like, wow, that's pretty interesting. So
well, the first thing for me is, so interestingly, the other day, I was doing a pink fluffy elephant SEO test where I was trying to get the Google posts, the push to posts in the business pages, to see if I could get those indexed when I stripped out some of the URLs which are naturally include a search query in it. So if I strip those out to make it like a static URL, could I get these indexed? Anyway, to the minute I can't. However, when I was sharing them via Google+, I knew that Google+ would be indexed, not a problem. But interestingly, I also shared it on Twitter, and not the actual post in Twitter, but the overall account, that also started appearing for Pink Fluffy Elephant SEO. And so that was interesting that was indexed. So that was interesting because you know, a lot of regular Twitter accounts, what I would say regular, not like high authority accounts, don't normally get indexed for a specific keyword or appearing for us, and it was. So my response, because I haven't played with this Twitter collections, is in theory be good, not in the terms of SEO, but in visibility if your collection builds up enough authority. So let's say your collection's just about, well, hey, pink fluffy elephants, then in theory, if it built up enough users and followers and interactions, then in theory that could be added to the fire hose to Google, who would regularly come along and see what's going on, and in theory that could take a slot for that particular search query. So that's the theory behind it, but you would have to play it out, check it out, test it out.
Okay, Tim, thank you very much. Okay, let's tweet that. Oh, we're at that time again. We've done it again, guys. We've answered all of the questions asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+, and also the Dumb SEO Questions Facebook group. If you're watching this now or at any time in the future, thank you. Your interest in what we do makes what we do worthwhile. And we thank you for paying us the attention that we so rightly deserve. But we thank you for taking the trouble to listen to what we have to say. We'll be back at the same time next week to do this all again. And look, there's one thing I must say before I go. This week we learned of the passing of Eric Ward. Lots of SEOs die. Some more known than others, but I don't think any of them would be as well known as Eric Ward. And Eric, well, he's been a link builder. He actually spoke with Jeff Bezos of Amazon and participated in the first Amazon link building campaign. And this was in 1995, I think. So a pioneer of our industry, well respected by everybody. And it's sad that we have to record his passing. Did anybody want to add anything to that before we close off?
Don't think there's a whole lot else that really can be said.
All right. Well, look, we'll be back at the same time next week to do this all again. But for now, it's good night. I see we still have people watching. Why not join us in the green room after we close this broadcast off? If you go to the Dumb SEO Questions Facebook group, near the top of the page, you'll see a link to join in and have a chat. All right. Again, thank you and good night.